Sananda. You are awakening your ancient wisdom. I am Sananda. It is always a pleasure for me to be with you in these times that are approaching. Now, we have been saying for a long time, changes are underway, and indeed it is true. But there are many changes coming at this moment, of which each of you will be a part of the new expression of love throughout the country, of a higher consciousness throughout the country, and that is why you came here. In the very words of your group's title, Ancient Awakenings, think about what it means, awakening the ancient knowledge of yourselves, of your multidimensional selves that you have brought here at this time to be part of this illusion, but not to be the illusion itself, only to experience it for a while. And once that time is over, and it is approaching very rapidly now, when you will no longer need to be on the other side of the barricade, as we said in the meditation, you will be able to be on the new side, the new creative side, where once again imagination becomes reality. That is where you are all headed. So the ancient awakenings are awakening those who are ready to understand and know this new reality, this new creative capacity that is within you. And I say new because it is beyond programming. So this is apparently new to you. Although you have always had this capacity, you have simply forgotten it. But now it is time to remember more and more fully who you are, what you came here to do, the mission for which you are all here, to awaken all those who are ready for this awakening process. Each of you has awakened to a certain point and is continuing the awakening process. But you are here to help others as well who are ready to undertake this awakening process. So go, my friends, my brothers and sisters, go and reach out your hand to all those who are ready to receive it, to send the message, to carry the message, not so much to send it, but to carry the message through the very person you are. Each of you is, let your light shine wherever you can, wherever the opportunity presents itself, let them see your light. But it is this that is creating the awakening throughout the country. That more and more people are becoming fully aware of how much power each of you has. And when you realize the power within you, then you know you have the ability to encourage others to realize that power within themselves as well. And since one leads to another, and to another, and to another, and so on, when one awakens, then two awaken, then three, then 6, then 12, and so on. It is a progression that is carrying this entire awakening forward. And you, each of you, are a fundamental part of this awakening process. Even if you don't think you are, even if you don't think you have a role in this great plan, you do. Each of you, as we have said many times, the thoughts you have enter the collective realm, the collective consciousness, the quantum field. Every single thought is met or multiplied in that quantum field. So, when one is ready to begin the awakening process, one simply needs to reach that quantum field and bring that awakening to oneself, the awakening that you, each of you, have initiated for humanity. I am Sananda, and I leave you now in peace, love and unity, and wish you to continue to realize how much power you have within you to help and awaken all those who are ready for their awakening process. Current cosmic news: Earth has just found a cosmic companion. NASA scientists have confirmed that our planet Earth now has a second moon, a small celestial object that will orbit alongside us until 2083. Unlike the moon we all know and love, this new visitor is a mini-moon, small in size but fascinating in how it temporarily joins our planet on its journey around the sun. These mini-moons, also called temporarily captured objects, are rare cosmic hitchhikers. They are asteroids or space rocks that wander into Earth's gravitational field and become trapped for years or decades. This particular mini-moon will orbit Earth in a temporary dance, offering astronomers a unique opportunity to observe its motion, composition, and behavior up close. This discovery also ignites the imagination. For decades, Earth will host a celestial companion we didn't even know we had. It is a reminder that even our familiar night sky holds surprises. Proof that scientists can now read your mind. Artificial intelligence transforms people's thoughts into images with 80% accuracy. Artificial intelligence can create images based on text prompts, but scientists have unveiled a gallery of images the technology produces by reading brain activity. Researchers at Osaka University have created a new AI bot capable of reading the mind and then drawing it using DALL-E 2 and Stable Diffusion. The sketches are up to 80% accurate. The bot uses fMRI scans to see what a subject is thinking or visualizing. Technology aiming to read minds and probe memories is already present in recent years. We have seen neurotechnologies move from research labs to real-world use. Schools have used some devices to monitor children's brain activity and understand when they are paying attention. Police forces use others to discover if someone is guilty of a crime. And employers use them to keep employees awake and productive. These technologies promise to offer us a completely new view of our mind. But our brain data is valuable, and letting it fall into the wrong hands could be dangerous. When we talk about brain data, we refer to EEG, FNIRS, functional near-infrared spectroscopy, fMRI, EMG and other modalities that collect biological, electrophysiological, and other functions from the human brain. There have been huge advances in artificial intelligence that allow us to decode brain activity and in the miniaturization of electrodes, which allows manufacturers to insert them into earbuds and headphones. And there have been significant investments from big tech companies. The only person who has access to your brain data right now is you, and it is only analyzed in the internal software of your mind. But once you wear a device, you immediately share that data with whoever is the manufacturer of the device and whoever provides the platform. Remember, they can be shared with anyone as well. Inside the human body is a discovery that could rewrite our understanding of biology. Stanford scientists have identified a completely new and mysterious form of RNA-based life living inside the human body. They have called these strange entities obelisks, and their origin and purpose remain unknown. Obelisks do not fit into any category of life studied before. They are made of RNA, the molecule that carries genetic information, but they do not behave like traditional viruses. Instead, they seem to exist in a kind of obscure middle ground, replicating, surviving, and spreading inside us, yet not clearly linked to disease or health. So far, researchers have found these obelisks in the mouth and gut of thousands of people worldwide. Their strange rod-shaped genetic structure is different from anything seen before in nature. Some scientists think they might represent a completely new branch of life, which has survived unnoticed in humans for millennia. Others suggest they might influence how our body functions in ways we have not yet understood. This discovery is more than a scientific curiosity. It challenges one of biology's greatest assumptions, that we already know the main players in human health. If obelisks are found to play a role in immunity, metabolism, or disease, they could transform how we diagnose and treat countless conditions. Andromedan Intergalactic Council. This is universal law in action. Greetings in the light and love of our infinite Creator. We enjoy the moments we share with all of you. Thank you for this transmission. We speak to you at this time of great intensity, as your world continues to move through waves of suffering, upheaval, and emotional turmoil. The currents of change are upon you, and the collective experience is a testament to the profound transformations happening within and around you. Know that what you are witnessing is the final emergence of energies that can no longer remain hidden beneath the surface of a rising consciousness. Shadows emerge only when the light has become strong enough to reveal them, illuminating what has long been hidden in darkness. This is a crucial turning point, a moment of revelation and healing. Many of you feel the weight of this period deeply, as if the very fabric of reality is shifting under your feet. We ask you to understand that spiritual mastery in these moments does not come from resistance or despair, but from conscious presence and mindful awareness. When suffering presents itself before you, do not turn away in fear, nor allow it to harden your heart into a fortress of isolation. Rather, observe it through the lens of compassion, clarity, and inner stillness. In doing so, you empower yourself to remove the emotional hooks that once bound humanity to cycles of control and suffering. This witnessing becomes an act of profound courage, allowing you to engage with the world authentically and with an open heart. The matrix of illusion, designed by the archons to enslave the human spirit, was sustained by fear, separation, and self-forgetfulness. Its power depended entirely on humanity's belief in being small, powerless, and disconnected from source. This belief, which has held so many captive for generations, is now dissolving very rapidly. The awakening of consciousness is a potent force, and as more and more individuals recognize their intrinsic divinity, the very foundations of the illusion are crumbling. This is a moment of awakening, not just for individuals, but for the collective consciousness of humanity. Once you awaken to your inner light, once you know, not just believe but truly know that you are divine in origin and eternal in essence, the archons no longer have any authority over you. Their systems, their tactics, and their manipulations can no longer penetrate your field of awareness. What they project outward now returns to them as a perfect reflection of their intent, revealing the truth of their nature. This is universal law in action. This is balance restored, a cosmic balance that cannot be disrupted. This is why their structures are collapsing from within, as the very foundations of their control are exposed to the light of awareness. Understand this clearly. Nothing they attempt can harm a sovereign being anchored in their own light. The awakened human becomes energetically untouchable, radiating a frequency that transcends the manipulations of fear and deceit. Fear no longer finds a grip in your heart. Deceit no longer finds access to your mind. Control no longer finds consent in your soul. You become a beacon of truth, illuminating the way for those still lost in the shadow. Those of you who have prepared for these times, through inner work, discernment, and devotion to truth, are now the living beacons on your planet. You do not need to convince others or force their awakening. Your mere presence stabilizes the energy field around you, creating a sanctuary of peace amidst the chaos. Your calm in chaos, your compassion in cruelty, your clarity in confusion sends a signal that goes far beyond words, resonating with those who are ready to awaken. Your energy speaks loudly, guiding others towards their own truth without need for persuasion. Hold your light high, shining and bright. With lightness in the face of adversity and uncertainty. In certainty and remembrance, embody the essence of what it truly means to be divine. Others will find their way by following the frequency you emit, even if they do not yet understand it. Your light acts as a compass, directing them towards the truth of their being and inspiring them to seek their own awakening. You are not alone on this journey. You were never meant to be a slave to the illusions of the past. You are reclaiming what has always been yours: your sovereignty, your power, and your connection to the divine. By stepping into this awareness, you contribute to the collective awakening of humanity, helping to dismantle the old paradigms that no longer serve your highest good. We are with you, with unwavering support, as Earth completes this passage into truth. You are co-creating a new reality, rooted in love, connection, and a deep understanding of our shared existence. Embrace this moment, for it is a crucial chapter in humanity's evolving story. With eternal love and deep respect, we are witnessing you, we celebrate you, and we honor you. In the love and light of our infinite Creator, we are the Andromedan Intergalactic Council, here to serve the divine. Towards a new cycle, we are shifting from a world and reality based on fear to one of love and compassion. We are heading into a new numerical cycle of new beginnings, wisdom, truth, karma, balance, appropriateness, and freedom. A year in which many will gradually choose to maintain themselves in the peaceful and harmonious frequency that will allow them to enter a more loving dimensional space on this planet. 2026 will be a year in which ascending light beings will remain in the enlightened essence of their being. Ascension itself paves the way to anchor more light and harmony in the world. Your entire world will likely change in 2026 and, in many ways, change from the inside out. Ascending beings are the pioneers in seeking the transformation of humanity on this planet, precisely those who will first embody this transformative change within themselves. 2026 will be a year in which planetary ascension and awakening will expand significantly, preparing everything for the next major cycle in 2032, marked by the major conjunction between Saturn and Uranus in Gemini. A universal seventh year, 2032, representing the time when humanity will finally move from the mass awakening happening now to the era of divine wisdom, a universal seventh year, in which humanity will begin to evolve into unity as one, fully remembering who they truly are, expressing the true self, and walking the earth as awakened conscious beings. 2025. A universal year of 9. A planetary frequency embodying truth, balance, karmic retribution, introspection, karmic completions, harmony, and restoration. This numerical vibration of 9 naturally activated completions where cycles were no longer necessary for higher learning. The 9 energies serve to bring conclusions to repetitive cycles and behaviors. The universal 9 energies were essential on both a personal and planetary level. It is a numerical portal embodying all combined numbers. Its purpose is to close past cycles, freeing the inner turmoil experienced in the last numerical cycle. Humanity's superpowers will come forward in 2026. Expect unexplored talents and higher insights to emerge within you. Use them wisely and always for the highest good. Any residue of shame is replaced by compassion. Guilt is replaced by responsibility. Co-creation and unity will be collectively preferred over separation, survival, and tribalism. The energies of 9 continue to close cycles and bring sudden and unexpected endings. Ascendants may feel vulnerable for a while, as a greater part of the self will be dissolved, removed, and stripped away. There is now a higher cosmic energy working together with the conscious human and planetary transition and transformation underway. The New Year energies may activate spaciness and inertia for a while in some. The universal 9 energies have been intense in different and new ways. Ascendants are already recognizing and perceiving the shifting energies. 2025 brought lessons from the higher self for conscious learning. These planetary energies placed a strong focus on uprooting false indoctrination. They highlighted what was false and what is real. 9 energies are governed by Aries and Mars. When these combined energies recognize misalignment, changes begin to activate almost immediately. These combined planetary energies are action-driven. Held 9 vibrations focus on the purpose of removing and dissolving the old Earth energy, Many ascenders have released obsolete emotions that kept them stuck and stagnant in the body, heart, and mind/throat. Ascension symptoms update. Muscle aches, sweating/chills, nausea, heightened emotionality, release of old emotions, doubt, confusion, tremors in the body, feeling triggered in new situations to release and let go of false programming, ringing in the ears, stiff neck, headaches, migraine, low temperatures, vivid dreams, mental fog, sore throat, heart palpitations. Skin irritations, feeling exhausted, drained, feeling slowed down by physical side effects. Recalibration is happening in the intuitive emotional body, nervous system, endocrine system, and mental body, to balance the masculine and feminine energies within. In 2026, there will be a strong emphasis on fine-tuning, coherence, integrating the masculine and feminine into conscious awareness and unity, necessary to achieve true connection with the self, source embodiment, psychological wholeness, and inner balance. This integration allows the ascender to develop a more complete personality. By recognizing and accepting the repressed traits of the self, we become more whole and balanced individuals, attracting aligned connections and relationships. Integrating feminine and masculine attributes into the self helps the ascender better understand themselves and relate better to others. 2026 selfishness will improve progress, especially in relationships, friendships, connections, and interactions with others, exploring what internally influences behaviors and emotions. Many of the ascendant signs of 2026 will enhance creativity and inspiration. The balance between masculine and feminine serves as a source of creativity and inspiration, as it represents the unconscious mind's ability to generate new ideas and insights. The ascendant collective will soon be living its highest timeline, understanding now that fear is a false illusion and created in humanity for control and slavery. In truth, love has already triumphed in the quantum fields of creation. Lightworkers play important roles as alchemists, transmuting collective shadows, seers and healers shifting global energies, intuitives guiding the way with a higher heart, starseeds expressing divine energies creatively. While ancestral lineage and generational trauma are being cleared, it is also important to recognize and reclaim one's ancestral virtues, namely inherited strength, resilience, loyalty, courage, patience, resilience, intelligence, compassion, and targeted inner work. Releasing from inner and collective illusions will be an ongoing process of Gaia Earth's transformation. Patience is necessary on this awakening path, as the conditioning of false programming and brainwashing has occurred over thousands of years and is deeply ingrained. Feeling frustrated is natural during some healing phases, remembering that the investment made in this lifetime involves the complex healing of the entire ancestral lineage and the activation of love and healing towards oneself in all future timelines. The ascension journey involves an accelerated transition and a period of awakening to soul purpose and unity consciousness. Some ascending individuals may start from scratch, relying solely on their inner knowing, their own tools, knowledge, hard work, and skills. Starseeds possess the ability to move effortlessly between dimensions and do not require external portals. Self-discipline is essential on the ascension path, as it demonstrates the necessary self-love and the willingness to replace immediate pleasures with greater rewards in the future. Starseeds are now opening up to receive an energetic boost from their future self. Ascending souls are preparing for the upcoming planetary changes. The final days of the year are dedicated to deciding what no longer nourishes and ignites the soul, preparing for the merger with the higher self, expanding into divine and collective purpose. In loving and devoted service of ascension. By Ascension Lightworkers, the Arcturian group. Evolution towards an awakened state of consciousness. Some of you have become discouraged regarding the personal and global effects of the ascension process. Evolving towards an awakened state of consciousness has always been and remains the only goal of every life for every person. But it is a process that does not happen overnight and often takes years, even for those who possess great intellectual knowledge of the truth. The process is difficult and long because almost everyone who has evolved through Earth School has been programmed with teachings of separation over thousands of years and hundreds of lifetimes. Most continue to carry with them and must purify the energetic residues of these lives before they can fully integrate the higher frequencies of reality. The ascension process underway offers everyone the opportunity to leave the old and enter what is higher and real, forcing both personal and global density to emerge to be seen and eliminated. Some of you find yourselves doubting as you struggle with issues you thought were long resolved, and wonder why you are not instead experiencing the fruits of your spiritual awareness. When a problem is resolved exclusively at a three-dimensional level, its energy often remains. Three-dimensional solutions can resolve the most obvious aspects of a problem, but usually leave the underlying energy in place. Long-forgotten problems with people, places, and things often reappear as a person evolves, to be definitively resolved at a higher level. It is imperative that every sincere truth seeker accept that intellectual knowledge of truth is only the first step towards attaining it in a state of consciousness where it can then manifest outwardly. As we have said many times, the mind draws from and interprets the contents of personal and collective consciousness as consciousness is the substance from which everything visible and invisible has been and continues to be created, and since divine consciousness is the only consciousness that exists, every individual consciousness is actually God consciousness. God consciousness is, always has been, and will continue infinitely to express in, as, and through all of creation. Very few experience the fully present divine qualities of their own self, because most human beings, over time, have unconsciously allowed their perfect, creative, and individualized divine consciousness to be conditioned by beliefs of duality, separation, and powers other than the one power. The goal for every person, without exception, is to eventually attain an awareness of oneness, but the process is different for each person depending on past experiences, lessons yet to be learned, current belief system, and one's spiritual readiness, determined by one's higher self. You who read these messages are close, otherwise you would not be interested or would not understand them. You have prepared, learned, and evolved in every life and no longer need painful three-dimensional experiences to awaken. You are ready to practice, live, allow, and quietly and secretly trust the true you to guide you, teach you, and smooth the way, regardless of the learning and purification experiences that may be part of it. The Christian Christmas story symbolizes every person's spiritual journey. The newborn Christ child, Christ means enlightened state of consciousness, not a person, had to be hidden from Herod and all who sought to harm him until he was strong enough to be exposed to the world. In the early stages of a person's spiritual awakening, their neonatal awareness is fragile and can easily be killed or damaged by those who do not believe in it and do not want you or anyone else to believe in it. They fear it as a threat to their personal belief system. Keep your newborn Christ consciousness safe and quietly hidden within you until it is strong enough to face any issues you may encounter because of it. Some of you have discovered that you already know much of what these messages and other channel messages tell you about truth and wonder why they no longer speak to you as they once did. It is because you have evolved to the point where you no longer need so many external tools, including channels, to teach you reality. This is how evolution develops and is a step towards that state of consciousness where one can access and receive teachings from within. Evolving towards an awareness of truth and oneness can be a difficult and lonely journey, especially when you see certain people, things, and activities disappear with seemingly nothing to replace them. Deeply rooted concepts and beliefs begin to seem insignificant and even nonsensical when viewed from a more enlightened level. You may find yourself feeling physically, emotionally, and mentally drained, with a sense that your life is falling apart and you are losing everything. And indeed you are. But rejoice, because it is only the false parts you are losing. You have reached a point in your journey where you must live the spiritual truth, see through the illusions of appearances, both positive and negative, and be willing to let go of anything that might still hold you prisoner to an outdated state of consciousness. This is how one moves from a fully conditioned and manifesting consciousness experiencing duality, separation, and multiple powers to a consciousness of truth capable of expressing its own reality. The two beliefs most difficult for human beings to understand are lack and relationships, because these two things affect every person in some way. Many of you are concerned about lack, often falling into fear and anxiety about money, while knowing that abundance is a spiritual reality. Because there is no unexpressed consciousness, the belief in lack will automatically express outwardly exactly as such. Lack, until it is no longer a person's state of consciousness. Spiritual abundance does not refer only to money, but to the limitless abundance of everything that is real. God does not know lack or limitation. Observe the number of blades of grass and leaves on trees. Divine consciousness knows only the abundant fullness of itself, which appears outwardly as an inexhaustible source of joy, wholeness, integrity, health, security, happiness, peace, intelligence, and oneness/love. Ask yourself, can an omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient God, who is all that exists, experience lack? You will answer, yes, that's fine for those who have attained that state of consciousness, but what about me? And appearances will confirm lack. To evolve from the collective beliefs, solutions, information, and constant promotion of lack on earth, a person must begin to believe, live, and practice abundance instead of lack. The energy of abundance must be allowed to flow. Give away or donate what you no longer need or no longer use. Clothes, things, etc., even if you are open to sharing what you use. When you pay bills, be aware that, since there is only one, the money is passing from your right hand to your left. Donate money to your favorite causes, even if it is just a few cents, because it is not the amount that counts, but rather the intent, and your intent is to let your fully present abundance flow. Give things, time, joy, knowledge, and support from the awareness of, I have because I am self-sufficient, self-maintained, complete, rather than from, when I give something, I have less. Remember that, since there is only one, the more you share from the level of complete abundance, the more can flow to you, often from where you least expect it. As for relationships, almost everyone has been taught, and society continues to teach, that every person is half of a couple until they find their perfect half, which will then make them complete. A spiritually aware person who continues to seek partnership through three-dimensional beliefs and games, where to look, what to wear, how to appear, behave, and what to say, etc. to attract someone, soon finds that their relationships are always short-lived. This is because the energy of a spiritually evolved person does not align with the energies of need and being half of a couple. Does being spiritually evolved mean never having a loving relationship? No, because the awareness of one's own completeness will automatically manifest outwardly as what represents the individual's wholeness, which for some may mean a relationship and for others means being alone. For a relationship to work harmoniously, both must understand and respect that each is already complete and whole, with or without the other person. I embody both masculine and feminine energy because I am God in expression. My masculine supports and guides my feminine, and my feminine loves and cares for my masculine. The higher sense of relationship is that of two people coming together, looking in the same direction by choice, never out of need. Looking to or expecting another person to give you what only God has to give is three-dimensional folly. Once a person chooses spiritual growth and learning, the train leaves the station and there is no longer any need for activities, words, ceremonies, or prayers in an attempt to make it go faster. Let the global and personal ascension process that is happening at this moment unfold as it must, in the awareness that your divine self knows where you need to be, what you need to learn and experience, and when. We are the Arcturian group.